cause the wave like the 10. All these ways on 10. Wave like the 10. All these ways on 10.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? And this is Switch Up Sports, coming to you on a Monday after the Super Bowl yesterday, where today it's going to be about responding versus reacting, the positive versus negative response. The Chiefs did a fantastic job of responding in the second half yesterday versus reacting. So a little bit about the game yesterday, but more importantly, just sticking on the topic, responding versus reacting. So with the game yesterday, the Chiefs it's not even the fact that they didn't play well in the first half. It's just the Eagles played better on offense. They ran the ball better. They just kind of had better time of possession. They milked the clock. Fantastic. The best way to beat Patrick Mahomes is to keep him on the sideline. And that's exactly what they did in the first half. Now, the second half, completely different script. Patrick Mahomes came out, was basically perfect in the second half, 13 of 14. His only incompletion was a throw through the back of the end zone. It was a complete throwaway. He didn't even bother trying to. He was perfect. Perfect in the second half, made the big plays when he had to. But more importantly, I think it actually goes to the Chiefs' defense in the second half. They only gave up 11 points in the second half. If you want to talk about responding and showing up to the task, that's exactly what the Chiefs did in the second half. They made their adjustments at half. They came out in the second half and did exactly what they needed to. They took all the shots from the Eagles. They didn't react to anything that was going on. A reaction to something has this negative connotation. When you're left reacting in situations, it is from a negative frame of mind. If you're responding to what your opponent or whatever is going on, that ends up having the positive way of looking at it. So I believe the Chiefs did a fantastic job of responding last night rather than, hey, the Chiefs just reacted. Now, I'm going to say there are more people that are reacting today about the fact that they think that call was, oh, it blew the Super Bowl. Oh, that was the worst thing ever. Oh, my gosh, the Chiefs didn't win. It was the refs again. They were still going to kick a field goal. Like, okay, the Eagles hadn't gone down the field and scored in less than 2 minutes. Could they do it? Probably. But at the same time, I get where they're coming from. You don't want a ref to make a call. Let's do it like this. Is it a holding call? Yes, it was. Okay, there you go. That's it. That's all you need. It was a flag. The flag was thrown. People can get upset about, oh, you can't throw the flag there. Then why have flags at all? Why have the referees there at all? If you're going to play the game by the rules, if you're going to have officials there that throw flags, then when there is a rule infraction at the point of attack, the flag needs to be thrown. Let's not forget about the fact that Juju didn't get the defensive PI call earlier in the game that would have led to a first down and probably led to a Chiefs either touchdown or field goal that wasn't called. And so could we say this was a makeup call? Maybe, but that was a clear defensive pass interference that happened right over the middle of the field. It wasn't called. They let it slide. That could have led to a Chiefs field goal. We don't know how that would have played out. But we do know with this, it was a holding. It was called. The Chiefs ended up kicking a field goal. They would have kicked a field goal anyways. So this whole notion that's like, oh my gosh, the Chiefs, how did they were going to win the game. Like, even if we put it like this, even if Jalen Hurts goes down and drop, do you really think that in that second half, the fact that the Eagles hadn't really moved the ball, the Chiefs were literally perfect on offense, did you really expect the team with no momentum, no energy, and having played worse in the second half compared to the first half? And did you really think that they were going to come out and even if they do come down and kick the field goal, I don't think they had enough time to go all the way down and attempt to get in the end zone to win the game. I think they maybe could have moved enough to kick a potential game tying field goal. But even in that regard, I still don't trust the Chiefs in overtime, or I don't trust the Eagles in overtime. I give full trust to the Chiefs. The Chiefs did whatever they wanted on offense in the second half. Realistically, they kind of did whatever they wanted on offense in the first half too, with the exception of 2 drives. But Patrick Mahomes responded perfectly. He re-injured his ankle, came back out in the second half, didn't matter. Had a rush that ended up leading to, honestly, that was the one of the bigger plays of the game from him, was that rush that he had down the field. When it comes to responding versus reacting, which is the main point of the game, because this isn't really a Super Bowl breakdown show. That's not really what I want to do, but I wanted to mention it because it's a perfect opportunity to. It comes down to taking what your opponent gives you. If this is wrestling and whatever's going on, you can't just go out and do whatever you want if your opponent is not giving you that look or that option. The same goes for football. If a defense comes out in a 5-2 front, I'm not going to try to run the ball. That's the situation that I'm kind of talking about. There's this respond and react, and there's too many people. And respond comes from a place of preparedness versus reacting is you're a little bit delayed. Let's go with that 5-2 front example. If a defense comes out in a 5-2 front, and I've never seen a 5-2 front before, I'm going to be reacting and I'm going to be scrambling and trying to figure something out and maybe have to call a timeout and maybe trying to work up some type of play call. But if I'm prepared, I know what play calls I have already on my call sheet. Hey, if they come out in this, hey, let's check. Let's do this. That's responding. That's all responding is. Responding is being prepared. So when your opponent shows their hand, which they always have to, because that's how the game is played, when they show their hand, they're going to give you something. Not everybody can stop everything. There is holes in cover 2. There's holes in cover 1. There's holes in cover 3. You just have to know where they are and where to exploit them. So that's where this respond is. If you have no clue what's going on, you're going to react to everything every single day. And so, as an athlete, as a coach, as even a fan in the stands, you have to understand and have the knowledge and preparedness and just kind of understanding going into any game. Because if you're not, what is ultimately going to happen is you're going to be caught off guard. You're then going to be left reacting. And when you're left reacting, you're no longer in control. That's another piece. Having control and being able to respond and knowing how to exploit what the opponent gives you. Cover 2, for example, the hole is in the middle of the field. That's what then gets exploited. And when you respond, so it comes out in a cover 2 defense, you then respond by calling plays that you've prepared, that you've planned. And so you're now controlling your offense going down the field and you're prepared. And so you're responding to a defense that's laid out in front of you. And instead of reacting and going, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? I think we can call this play. I think this might work. No, it's calm, cool, collected. It takes the stress level down. That is important. It's when you're relaxed. It's when you're in control. You have an organized fashion going on. And that is responding. It works in every sport. When you're prepared, you've done the needed work to get any understanding. If there's like in terms of like your specific opponent, if you've watched film, you know what they tend to do. You know what they have as strengths. You know what they have as weaknesses. You know what moves, what plays they have that they tend to go to in certain situations. You have the other plays that they tend to go to in other situations. Knowing that going in leaves you prepared. It leaves you knowledgeable. It gives you an understanding of what's about to happen. If you didn't prepare at all, you just showed up on game day, you just showed up and was just like, all right, here we go. You are not going to win that. You are not prepared. You are not in control. It is 100% reaction. And when you're just left reacting, you have no clue what's going on. It's like trying to play chess. A grandmaster is roughly 8 moves planned out ahead. Anything north of 5 moves, but it's really about 8 moves planned out ahead. If you're just going out there trying to play chess and moving one piece at a time and you're not even planning for your next move, you are never going to win a game of chess. In every single sport, every single game, it's all a game of chess. It's a game of strategy. It's, well, I'm going to give this pawn here because this pawn is going to set up a different play that's going to come back, that's going to give me a different setup. 5 moves down the road from now, that's going to lead to a score. That's going to lead to me getting the ball in this situation, to lead to me completing this move and this setup to lead to points. That's what sports are. So if you're left not analyzing, not planning, not preparing going forward, you're left reacting to everything. And when you're left reacting, you're never going to win. And we all know everyone's born to win, but you have to be prepared. Not only prepared, you have to have an understanding of what they're also doing. You can't just be, oh, yeah, I'm prepared that they're going to run these moves. But if you have no understanding of some of the other formations that they can run off that and some of the other things that could lead to that, you have to like break down your moves and opponent's moves and then break down another set of, okay, well, what's something that they also can do off of this? That's how you get ready. It all works in every single sport. It works in every single game. It works with your job. It works in pretty much every day of life. If you wake up and say, I have no plan today, I have no clue what I'm going to do, I'm just going to let the world just fall, you're not going to get very far. You're left reacting to the day every single day. You just wake up and go, I don't know. I think, and you just decide on the whim hour by hour. That's not how it works. You understand, okay, well, I'm going to try to work from whatever hour to whatever hour for, I'm going to go to the gym, or I've got practice, or this needs to get done. I have this assignment. You have for the day rather than this, I don't know. Like, it's about being prepared. That's really at the end of the day all this is. So to switch from respond and react, I guess it's really just kind of be prepared versus not prepared. And that's ultimately a big thing. It's also come down to like playing your style or wrestling your style or being unique to what works for you. So, in essence, for what the Chiefs did yesterday, the Chiefs are an incredible offense. The Chiefs have arguably the best to ever play the game of football, will probably end up being the greatest to ever play it of all time. I think he has a decent conversation for that right now, but different topic, different day, irrelevant. They did what they do well. They ran things that Patrick Mahomes does well. They ran formations that worked for them, that fit in their style. They're not out there running a wing tee. They're not out there running 5 wide every single play, only running deep routes. That's not what they do. The same goes for the Eagles. How many times did they run that quarterback sneak? That's tried and true to them. Jalen Hurts had other designed runs, one of which he broke off for a very long run on that 4th and 5. It's doing what you do well. You have to play into your own unique style. You have to wrestle your own way. You have to do what you're good at. You can't be prepared and say, "Oh, well, here we go. They're going to get." No, it still has to fit inside your mold. It has to fit into what you have, because this shifts when you have a base of what you do really well. If you're an offensive guy, and this is kind of more for wrestling, and I guess can tie over to other sports too if we connect enough dots. But I'm going to speak kind of specific on wrestling here to make it a little bit easier. If you're an offensive wrestler and you know a lot of offensive moves, I wouldn't suggest that you go into a match trying to rely on your defense. If you go into the match saying, okay, I'm going to work to set up a double leg, I'm going to work to set up a single leg, I'm going to work to set up an ankle pick, I'm going to work to set up a headlock, I'm going to work to set up a front headlock, I'm going to work to set up this throw, I'm going to work to set up this. That is your style. You need to work moves and be prepared to wrestle your type of match. If you go into the match doing the exact opposite of what you're good at and you go, "Oh, hey, I know I'm really really good on my feet and I'm really good on offense, but you know what? I'm not going to take a single shot. I'm just going to sit and I'm just going to try to defend." That's not what you do. That's not anywhere close to what you do. So why would you do it? Why would you do it? I see videos, and other guys have sent me videos breaking down film. And when I asked them, hey, what are they good at or what are you good at? Most of the time they tell me, oh, I've got a pretty decent shot, or um, this move I'm pretty good at. And it's like they didn't even attempt it. They didn't even try to attempt it. They didn't try a setup to try it. They didn't even try it without a setup. It's like, hey, if that's your best move, why aren't you doing it? There is no rules against you doing your best move ever. Hey, I don't know about you guys, but Jordan Burroughs hits a fantastic double. You think anyone is trying to tell him in a match to not hit a double leg? Who cares if they know that you're good at it? Get so good at it that it can't be stopped. It fits your style. If you're a great double leg shooter, then shoot a double leg every match. Work enough setups that it doesn't even matter that they know it's coming. If you get the right setup and you get really, really good at setups, your double leg's going to be fantastic. If you shoot a great single leg, work really, really good at setups and have multiple setups to that same single leg, so you're not going to be stopped on offense. That's how it works. You have to do what you're good at, because if you're not doing what you're good at, then there's no point. Who wants to be mediocre at anything? When you start a new job, when you try a new sport, when you try anything that's new, what do you normally do? You do it to the best ability and you do all that you can with what you know, with what you are good at. If you're a salesman and you switched to, I'm not going to, that's a weird example. But let's say you talk to people really, really well. You're then asked, hey, I need you to go in sales. You know what you're going to do? You're normally going to talk to people. So if you talk to people really well, you should probably just go and just talk to people, because you already do it pretty well. So you just talking to people could probably naturally do that. And so the transition for that over into sports, if I said, hey, you're a really good wrestler and I'm going to have you play football, and you're a really good offensive wrestler and have a pretty good takedown and are like really good on your feet, I'm going to say, hey, go play defense, go play linebacker, go play safety, depending on your size. But like, go play linebacker, go play safety. I guarantee you, you're going to be fantastic at football, because all I'm going to have you do is I'm going to go, hey, go shoot a double leg on whoever has the ball. You're going to be fantastic. It has nothing to do with anything else. You are really, really good at something, and that thing that you're really, really good at is shooting a double leg, is getting a takedown, is throwing on your feet. If I asked you to go play football, I'm not going to ask you to try to play quarterback, because it's not what you're good at. Now, you can get better at quarterback. I'm not saying not to try, and I'm not saying to not go for things that you don't do well. But at the end of the day, if you don't start with what you're good at, you're never going to really get much better. If you are surface level with everything, you're not going to be very good. You know how quick a puddle dries up in the sun? Fast. Now, how fast does a bucket of water dry out in the sun? Takes a really, really long time. Go in depth. If you're really good on offense, go in depth on offense and get as good as you can get. Learn every single setup. If you hit a great double leg, learn every single setup you can to make sure that you can then hit that double leg. If you have 14 setups for your double legs, you have 14 different ways to shoot your double leg, not just one. The same goes for a single. The same goes for any throws. Get so good at them that they can't be stopped. The defense side, that can be worked on. I'm not saying to not work on what you're bad at. Start with what you're good at. If you're good at it, get better. Don't go, oh, I hit a great double leg, I'm never going to work on it. No. The double leg should be what you work on about 75% of the time. Because if you work on the double leg 75% of the time, and then 25% of the time keep building this like, hey, I'm not really that good at sprawling, or hey, I'm not really good at whatever it may be. Working on it 25% of the time, constantly, time over time over time, it's going to get better. But normally, if you're not really that good at it, it's going to be a slow process, anyways. And you putting and filling a bunch more time into it normally isn't going to make that trajectory that much faster. But if you're really, really good at something and you get that much better, that makes that many more people that can't stop you. A great offense also is a great defense. If you are, we'll use Jordan Burroughs again. If you had to go wrestle Jordan Burroughs, do you think you're going to try to stop his shot? Or are you going to be worried about, does Jordan have a good sprawl that I need to be worried about? No, you're not worried about how good his defense is compared to your offense. You're worried about how good his offense is. Why does that matter? His offense is good enough. He doesn't have to worry about being better than you at defense. He knows that he's better than you at offense. And he's going to come right after you with his offense and go try to stop it. And when you can't stop it, then you get scored on. And he gets scored on again. And he gets scored on again. And then he gets scored on again. And then what ends up happening? Tech. Maybe even a pin. If you went into that match and said, all right, Jordan Burroughs, you can't shoot a double leg. How much does that change that match? You take away his best element. You take away the best thing that he's good at. Now, yes, he's good at a lot of other things, but if you said, "Hey, you can't shoot a double leg," do you think there's that many people that are as scared of Jordan Burroughs, or like as worried about, oh, there's a lot of other things that he can do. Yes, he's good at a lot of other things, but he's not the best at all those other things. What you do good at, or what you do well in, the things that you're good at, become the best at them. Don't just be a good double leg shooter, become the best. Don't just become, a good low single shooter. Become the best. Because once you're the best, you can't be stopped. And other people will change their game plans to you and doing what you want to do. So when you go out there and wrestle your match and you go, yeah, I'm going to attack that double leg. I'm really good at a double leg. I'm going to continue hitting all these different setups, and I'm going to keep working for my double leg. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to be playing defense the entire time, trying to go, I have to stop his double leg. 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 That's all it is. Become the best at what you're good at and just residually get better at what you're bad at. How about that? That sounds like a pretty good plan to me. If anyone has some other style that they have besides, hey, become the best at what you're good at and just get residually better at what you're bad at, then I don't have much to tell you, because there's a lot to learn out there, and you can learn everything. But you know what? I think I could probably take 7 moves. I'll say 6. I guarantee you I can probably take 6 moves and become the best at dominate in the sport. You give me 6 of anything. You can give me 6 plays on offense. You can give me 6 plays on defense. You can give me 6 moves in wrestling. You can give me 6 different basketball shots. If I'm the best at those 6 things, you are not going to stop me ever. If I'm the best on offense, I'm going to be so good at those 6 plays, you are never going to be able to stop them. I'm going to run those same 6 plays over and 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 over until you finally stop them. And then once you do get a one stop, guess what? I'm hitting you again with another round of these 6 plays that you're not going to stop. You're not going to stop them. Get as good as you can at whatever you're good at. Because I'll tell you what, if you just go out there trying to just learn whatever it may be. If you're going, hey, I'll learn a single. Hey, I'll learn a chicken wing. Hey, I'll learn this. Hey, I'll learn this thing. You're not going to be good at any of them. You're not. Pick one move only on your feet, on top, and on bottom. Pick one move, become the best at that one move. You can have other moves. I'm not saying to not have any other moves. I'm saying those three, one in each position, become the best. Then have all your off other moves. So that way, hey, if you do happen to get stopped on a double leg because of whatever setup that they were able to stop, it's not going to be the end of the world. You have other things that you can go to. So see if they can stop the other stuff too. So at the end of the day, be unique to you. What you do good, become the best at. What you're not good at, it's going to happen. There's just things that we aren't good at. It's just going to happen. Some things you're naturally bad at, you don't really get that much better at, no matter how much you work on it. That's going to happen. That's life. Respond versus react. Prepared versus ill prepared. That's all it is. Prepare as much as you can. That preparing comes with focusing on becoming the best at what you're good at, knowing what you're bad at, knowing how to scheme around what you're bad at and protect what you're bad at, versus going into things willy-nilly, unprepared, not ready. And what ends up happening? You lose every single time. So that's it for me on this one. You guys already know we're here on Facebook. We're here on YouTube. So those two places right now, go ahead and drop a follow. Share this with all your friends on Facebook, and we're going to go from there. So say it like you see it tomorrow here on Born to Win Media. That show is at 2 p.m. Central. That show will be about an hour long. So you've got live show tomorrow. Say it like you see it. Show tomorrow night. Switch Up Sports. That's it from me. Mighty Q. I'm out.